Good afternoon, everybody. Game time. Brian is here. Yes, we have news. Yes, we have news. We are just a little over an hour and a half away, a little under an hour and a half away from the combine, which, let's be honest, it's not so much about guys running around because that's the bogus part of the whole combine. What's great about the combine is just seeing the guys that you have earmarked or you're hearing about and seeing them actually do something. But don't take that too seriously. It's who's willing to work out, right? They're all going to have their pro days. Today's defensive lineman day. I'm looking forward to seeing Deion Walker work. Hopefully he works. We'll be able to talk about all that during the broadcast today as well as the next few days. But again, it's not so much about the on field. It's about the physical, okay? If one guy had to go get a physical with all 32 teams, he would be glowing by the end of the process. So what they do is they bring all the players to the combine. They do all the testing there. They knock out one set of tests for each player for all of the clubs to see. So we're going to be interested to see what leaks are, come out. And this sometimes happens, when it comes to the combine, where us people and even people on ESPN don't know or not allowed to disclose an injury. And then draft day comes, and then you wonder why a said player was a first-round player or a second-round player drops to the fourth or fifth round. Damone Clark comes to mention. We got Damone Clark a few years ago. I expected more from Damone. Here, they discovered he had a neck issue at the combine. They had to fuse his vertebrae, his neck. The rest is history. He dropped in the draft. Dallas was able to get him. It didn't really work out. It didn't kill him, but it didn't work out like they thought. He would have been a first-round talent without the injury, so they say, top of the second. But we got news on one Osa Odighizuwa. Yes, Osa Odighizuwa. I was very afraid that they were going to franchise tag him. It would be $23 million to franchise him. So this is what I was telling Mark Holmes and all my subscribers, that I do not want to use the franchise tag. When you wait until a player is eligible for free agency or at the doorstep of being able to be on the open market, then it is not worthwhile. You're not going to get a team-friendly deal. And rumor has it that they are very close, very, very close on a deal. And I am going to share, well, I won't share, but I'll read it to you. I'll share it. Here we go. And why isn't that working? It's not working. So what we're going to do, we're going to leave it, and I'm going to read it. I will change cameras, though. All right, here we go. Sources reveal the Cowboys are very close to done deal in Osa Odighizuwa contract talks. Now, what I would tell you is Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, loves the player. He has not made a Pro Bowl. I think he made second team, but I don't believe he made a Pro Bowl. He had for the first time ever, he made it through a whole season without getting injured. Yes, he made it through a whole season, not so much getting injured. That's the wrong thing to say. Not getting injured. He made it through a season last year where he didn't tail off. That had been the rap on Osa, maybe a little undersized. He's not undersized anymore. He is a very, very good player. Yet he hasn't made a Pro Bowl. He's close, but this is the first complete year he's had, and he was right there. He's up against some unbelievable players. So, again, depending on how much they're going to give. Now, let's read. Stephen Jones acknowledged we have We have had good negotiations with Osa. Just think Osa is really a good football player. He's an important piece. Again, Matt Eberflus has already came out and said he's a must-have. He's only 26 years old, so the haters out there can say what they want. I'm okay with it because he's a young player. And just remember, whatever the number is, it won't be that much the first 2 years of the contract. They will space it out. He's a young player. I don't know what Milton and Philly's going to get, and I don't know what kind of player. I don't know if Milton fits in Eberflus's system. Eberflus requires a 3 technique, okay? And he's a perfect 3 technique, Osa. He really is. He just needs a stud next to him, but I digress. NFL free agency legal tampering period doesn't open until March 10th. I'll be there. And signing players can't happen until the official start of the NFL business year. But there is a home team but, because you're waiting. As it relates to Osa Odighizuwa and the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry and Steven are wisely trying to take advantage of that. Teams can negotiate and sign their own free agents right now, and in line with Steven vowing to help Dallas be selectively aggressive. Again, if Osa stays, that's wonderful news. But Osa, Jordan Lewis, and D-Law, that's a given. That's not counting Brandon Aubrey. That's not counting Cavante Turpin. Those are your own. Okay, we have 25 free agents, like the Eagles, but we have some more impactful free agents that we can't afford to lose, or if we do, we got even more holes. Osa is very vital. I'm hearing $21 million, as you see by the thumbnail. I don't know how it's structured. I know Drew texted me. I know Vinny Hagan texted me. I'm getting blowed up about $21 million. Slow down on the 21. That's agent speak. We'll see what the actual value is of the contract, because it appears that they're not messing around. Again, from my perspective, that isn't, selectively aggressive. That's something you have to do. Okay, if you don't bring in Osa, then you need to find a player that's not on the Eagles. That's a free agent. That now you're talking a little more. I think, all due respect to Drew, I think that Milton is going to get more than that. He's going to get 25, 26 million a year. That's just, everybody has more money. Maybe 24. He's getting more in Osa. So if you're telling me it's a 21 million average, we'll see what the guarantees are. It's all about the guarantees. And you know what? Osa is a dominant player. He's young. He's 26 years old. People forget he was a Division A wrestler in college. He is very, very good. He's gotten stronger. Finally, he's gotten through a full season where he hasn't tailed off towards the tail end of the season. Osa Odighizuwa is vital to bring back. I agree. And we'll have to see what the number is. The source adds that the new contract is expected to come in at or more than $21 million a year. It's a lot of money, people. I'm not going to sit there and lie. The franchise, franchise tag is hit $23 million. I told Mark last night, I said, if you franchise tag him, you're getting rid of him, because next year, the contract negotiations, assuming he doesn't have a bad year and just on par with the previous year, and you would expect a player at the age of 26 to improve each year, you would expect the number to be high. So it is a deal. I would have liked to have addressed this last year, but they were in hell last year. As Mark Holmes likes to say, they went into the offseason minus 23, 28 million in a hole, in the red. They're plus 28 before they do anything, flip any switches, cut any players. They're fine. And as soon as they sign Osa, they're going to save money again in year one. But still, I digress. Osa Odighizuwa has not missed a game in 3 seasons. You hear that? He has not missed a game. You can't help the club if you're always in the tub. You know what I'm saying? You need to be on the field. He's a big-time asset at the center of the Cowboys' defensive front, playing alongside the likes of DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Parsons. He has developed into somewhat of a secondary star in Dallas. Odighizuwa, who finished season with career highs in total tackles in 47, 4.5 sacks, remaining effective when some bigger names, including Parsons, miss time with injury. He don't miss time. Knock on wood. The Cowboys, you need to reel in some pieces in free agency while working out extensions for Parsons. Many think this combination of moving pieces could spell the end of Odighizuwa's tenure at the Star. But indications now lean the other way. Very good. Let me look at. I have another thing. Dallas Cowboys and defensive line Odighizuwa have had interesting dialogue this season. Yada yada yada. Very close to reaching a contract, according to Mike Fisher, Athlon. A $23 million franchise tag would have been a pretty penny to pay. Again, people, don't get caught up with the money now. This whole $21 million BS. Don't get caught up in it. We'll see what the guarantees are. We'll see how many years are. We'll see the way it's structured. That's the job of Catboy, Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy, also known as. That's his job. He's a young player. I'm all for paying him. I'm not going to say it's overpaid. Franchise tag is 23, but to me, I would go to Osa and say, you want to go somewhere else for the top dollar, then that's on you, Osa. We want you here, okay? We want you here at $20 million per. It doesn't matter. $20 million, $21 million, $22 million. It don't matter. It's all about the guaranteed money, people, and how many years. That's it. That is it. Stop it with the, oh my God, it's $20 million per. Stop. But at the same token, we will have the language of the contract eventually. When we do, we'll dig into it and see if Catboy got played again. Let's see here. After all, the Cowboys have a good chunk of their salary cap tied in between CeeDee Lamb and Dak. Their switches are going to be switched the middle of March. It's in the contract. That'll save $60 million, over 60 between both of those players. They let Tony Pollard walk in free agency. Yes, we let Tony Pollard walk in free agency only to have Rico Dowdle have better numbers with 7 less games played. Not a bad move. Okay, so letting players go isn't always a bad thing. But anyway, I'm going to keep it short. Let's see. General Manager Jerry Jones must see the potential with this defensive tackle by giving him contract of this magnitude. Also, Stephen Jones opened up about a possible contracting. Yeah, we've already heard that. Okay, so stay tuned. They're working on it. I would be happy if they get it done sometime tonight. Dallas has a way of dragging this shit on, but they have a lot of stuff to do in only a 4-day period starting today. But again, as I close this video out, it's not about the on-field what you see. That's all fun. It's about the medicals. You're hearing Abdul Carter has a stress fracture in his foot. He may drop down the draft board. Will he drop close enough to us? We'll see. There's going to be other guys. There's rumored to be a first-round talent that's going to plummet down the draft boards. I don't believe it's a Carter. My hunch, that it's Ravel, the East Carolina corner. I believe he has a hip issue. But that being said, and he's a 6'3" taller guy, a little bit of a risk. That's what the combine's about. That and who's talking to who, trades, because all the rumors are going to be hot and heavy, and we will be live within the hour. So that is it. Game time, Brian. Stay tuned. We will be here live on the channel, covering it all soon. Take care. Don't ever forget. Late.